You're scrolling, drifting through the endless static of the algorithm, waiting for the signal to cut through the noise. Consider, if you will, that you just found the frequency. You've just stepped off the timeline of the everyday, into the space where the forgotten history and the hidden truths finally touch down. There's the story you know, and then there's the airspace we're about to enter. Check your coordinates, because you're heading towards the landing point. Welcome back, friends. Today's story. Life is more than hair. You know the world can be a terribly cruel place to a child. And for Michaela, the world seemed determined to break him before his life had even begun. Michaela was born in Berlin in 1931. By the time he was 7, his homeland had become a nightmare. His family was Jewish. And the shadows of the Third Reich were lengthening across the country. His father, a doctor, fled to America to set up a medical practice and prepare a home for his family. But before his mother could follow, she became seriously ill. So in the spring of 1939, a desperate decision was made. The 7-year-old Michaela and his 3-year-old brother were put on a ship in Bremen, alone and bound for New York. Imagine it, a 7-year-old boy crossing the Atlantic Ocean without his parents, fleeing a regime that wanted to extinguish him. And as if the trauma of the displacement wasn't enough, Michaela carried another heavy burden. When he was just 4 years old, a severe reaction to the whooping cough vaccine had caused him to lose every hair on his body. He had no hair on his head, no eyebrows, no eyelashes. When he finally arrived in New York Harbor to reunite with his father, Michaela was bald, frightened refugee who knew exactly 2 phrases in English. The first was, "I do not speak English." The second, prepared for greeting his relatives, was, "Please do not kiss me." School in America was unforgiving. Children can be ruthless to those who are different, and Michaela was as different as they come. A German-speaking immigrant who wore ill-fitted wigs and painted eyebrows. He was relentlessly mocked. He became a loner, an outsider looking in at America through the glass. But it was from this lonely vantage point that Michaela began to observe. Because he didn't naturally fit in, he studied how other people behaved. He learned the rhythm of American speech, the subtle cues of human interaction, the tragic comedy of ordinary life. He retreated into books, theater, and his own sharp, observant mind. He eventually made his way to Chicago, where he met another brilliant, slightly misfit young woman. Together they started performing comedy. They didn't tell jokes, they just talked, improvising the awkward, hilarious nervousness of everyday people. They were a sensation, but the young man didn't stop there. He decided he wanted to direct. He wanted to take all of those observations about human nature and all the pain and absurdity he had cataloged as a lonely immigrant boy and put them on the stage and screen. He directed a play about a bickering married couple called Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? It was a masterpiece. Then he directed a film about a deeply confused young man, adrift in a plastic world, seduced by an older woman. The movie defined an entire generation. The little hairless boy who arrived in America knowing only how to say, "I do not speak English," grew up to win an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. He didn't just learn American culture, he helped shape it for a half-century. But the frightened 7-year-old refugee named Michaela Pachowski is Mike Nichols. And whether you realize it or not, this is The Landing Point. Viewers, thank you for watching today, The Landing Point. We really appreciate it. I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Roadrunner Real Estate. They are a full-service real estate company doing both commercial and residential real estate. They can help you buy, sell, or even lease your properties. So if you're in the market looking for a real estate company, please go out and give them a call. They'll happily help you today. The next thing I'd like to talk about is our social media. Obviously, we have YouTube if you're watching that today. If you haven't done so already, please go out and subscribe. It is completely free to you. There's nothing that you'll be charged or your membership fees, but it does help us out so we can get our latest episodes to you quickly and you can find out what's going on with YouTube. Our other place that we do a lot of our social media is on our Facebook page, The Landing Point. So please go out and like and subscribe or follow those, I guess I would say, so you get the latest updates. If you're a person that likes to listen to stories as you're out on the drive, we have our podcast. You can find The Landing Point out there, and it can be on most services. So once again, thank you for watching The Landing Point, and we look forward to see you on our next story.